Yes, yeah, CJ will be our week 1 starter in Baltimore.
A man of many words. Look, it's the preseason. These games don't really matter, but I don't know how you can come away from last night's Texans preseason game. They wrapped it up against the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. They win the game, 17-13. I don't know how you can come away from that game not being pretty optimistic about C.J. Stroud. I got to say, I'm loving just the way that the guy throws the ball. It's so effing effortless. And last night, I thought all 4 throws that he made were bleeping beautiful. And yeah, we're talking about 4 games. Any quarterback in the NFL can do that. Hell, Davis Mills has even done it before. But that pass down the left sideline to Nico Collins, it was right there. Beautiful ball. And it was just so effortless, the way that he threw it. And we hadn't seen him throw the football down the field in the preseason yet. Then a little bit later, there's some people that think he maybe should have scrambled for a first down. Maybe he could have. But again, made a great throw. Just goes right through the hands of the wide receivers. And instead of focusing on the wide receivers, I'm going to shift to the next drive where every single time that Stroud threw the football, it just looked good. Pants Tent City, we are all there, baby. This guy is at the very least going to be a good watch this year. And that's really all you can ask for. 713-780-3776 to call in and to text in on the most interactive sports talk show in Houston. Sean, I saw you nodding when I talked about just how effortlessly Stroud throws the ball. Like, that's the thing that jumps out the most about him. It just looks so easy for the guy.
Yeah, going from game 1 where he didn't have really any time to throw, and then game 2, he had that one drive where he's playing with the starters, he's playing with the starting offensive line, barring Titus Howard, and
Can you
yeah, well, I said starting offensive line, Paul.
Good point.
And he was making throws. The throws he was making to Noah Brown, to Robert Woods. Like, he showed, and he did again last night, like you said. He showed that if you give him time and he has a clean pocket, he can absolutely deal.
Put it wherever he wants it.
He is, yes. Like, I know every quarterback is good when there isn't a rush, but C.J. Stroud is, like, exceptional when there is. I remember the combine, and we kind of made fun of it when basically all the Daniel Jeremiahs and Todd McShays of the world were saying, like, this was maybe the greatest, like, throwing at the combine I've ever seen. Like,
You're right.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson did backflips and is basically the most athletic person ever to walk into the city of Indianapolis. But C.J. Stroud, the throws he made, like, blew it away. And we were all like, cool, he's wearing shorts, whatever, in a tank top.
And I see it right here, Sean. There are people on the Twitch that are saying, yeah, he did it against third stringers. One of the corners, maybe the guy who was covering Nico on that touchdown, is now a UPS driver. I hear UPS has great benefits.
Yeah,
Don't hate on the fine people of
yeah.
UPS. Don't hate on them.
Some of them sneaky athletic, too.
That's true.
You can see their calves popping in those shorts.
Yeah. Definitely Cavs guys here. So I'm happy about what I saw last night. I feel like from game 1 to game 2 to game 3, there were signs of incremental improvement, and I am truly excited to watch the Houston Texans this season. And honestly, I think it's time, Sean. I think we might need to bring him back. And I know he's canceled, and we shouldn't be playing his music. It's wrong. But I'm sorry. On a day like today, it's time for some Clay Walker. Oh, yeah. Give it to me. It's finally here. C.J. Stroud's really good, we hope. Throwing passes against third-string quarterbacks. This song really goes on for a very long time. I'm very curious as to, like, at what point while writing the lyrics to Football Time in Houston did Clay Walker maybe start to mail it in? Because the lyrics of this song are not. They're not the strongest, if you will.
I imagine after, I don't know, he gets one good verse in, he nailed, it's football time in Houston, and we're ready to play.
After
After that, he was like, all right, I've already done enough to get this song played all the time when it's football time in Houston. Verse 2 and 3, who cares?
Okay. Look, all I'm saying, based off of yesterday's preseason game, is that you should be optimistic. Is that too much to ask for in a city that has been so turned off by the football team and the collective experience over the last couple of years? Probably not for a lot of you guys out there. I understand the skepticism. I think one of the reasons I've always enjoyed the Houston Texans fan base is because of how jaded and cynical they are. It's I think, a mark of character that you stick with them, or maybe you just stop watching them altogether because you realize that they have been just essentially flipping you 3 middle fingers. Like they've got a third arm going out, and it's just pointing right at you. F you.
The Texans fans, like, they can see through the BS, or there's a sizable portion that can just, like, you know what? No, these guys actually aren't worth my time, which I do respect the, like, fanhood of. You give me something worth cheering about.
Yeah,
then I will cheer. Then I will show up.
They have to win you back. I look, just like I complain about watching the Astros as much as I do when they're playing teams like the Tigers, even if they are absolutely skull murdering them 17-4. You know, there's some games where I'm like, okay, you know, but I'm not a baseball guy. But I understand for a lot of people out there with this football team, you've probably gotten to the point where you're like, why am I wasting my Sunday watching this team? Do I really want to spend 3 hours, 4 hours, hell, 2 hours watching this team? And I feel like if you've been watching these preseason games and if you've been watching training camp, that guy's at the very least going to make it a passable experience. And I mean, it's a very low bar to clear. I don't know if he's going to be good. Shoot, I mean, we just saw Trey Lance get traded to the Dallas Cowboys. That guy's career is over. He's played, what, 8 games?
Oh, less than that. He's played like 4. I think he only started 2.
It's insane. Yeah. It's like the fewest games played by a top 5 pick in the modern era.
Literally all the other, like, notable draft busts. Now we're just talking about Trey Lance, but all the notable draft busts through history, you can at least go, well, at least Jamarcus Russell played. Like, at least Ryan Leaf played. Like,
yeah.
He was out there.
Lance has had some bad luck with the injuries and with the pandemic that stopped one of his football seasons as well. He's had some bad luck. But a lot of quarterbacks, to bring it back to C.J. Stroud, they end up like that guy. And sometimes it's because of the lack of effort from Jamarcus Russell, who you talked about. We, of course, talked about that Johnny Manziel documentary as well. Like, he's also in that same boat. Like, these guys didn't actually try. With Stroud to this point, though, I feel like you should have seen enough to, at the very least, watch a couple of games on Sundays this fall. And I mean, from the get-go. Maybe you don't want to deal with it anymore. Maybe you're just tired of it. I get it. I really do. But I see signs of improvement from him. And I kind of like how matter-of-fact and business-like they were after the game. Like, D'Amico's like, yeah, he'll be the starter against Baltimore. C.J. Stroud's like, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I like that they seem to be annoyed with themselves a little bit. And understandably so. The receivers were doo-doo last night.
And to be fair, like, everyone knew he was already the starter. This isn't some sort of,
That's
like,
true too.
Surprise, or you know what? I've just made up my mind. Like, we all knew.
We all knew. But I'm happy with where they're at. And, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. As far as the rest of the preseason game, I'll be honest, I really only did focus on C.J. Stroud. It was noteworthy that Kenyon Green was working not with the ones, with the twos. We did hear from D'Amico Ryans being asked about that, and he did not even mention Kenyon Green's name.
Dieter has done a really good job all camp. He deserved reps and wanted to see him in with the first group.
Not a good sign. Not a good sign. And not good for the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies, that's for sure. No, sirree. He's a first-round pick, in case you didn't know. Football powerhouse.